Writing. The bright afternoon sun reflected off the towering glass walls of the city's most prestigious corporate headquarters, but inside the elegant lobby, a storm was about to change two lives forever. Hundreds of people walked past without stopping as a sharply dressed man loudly cornered a graceful woman near the entrance, refusing to accept her repeated attempts to walk away. Security guards hesitated, assuming it was only a personal disagreement. Employees lowered their eyes, pretending not to notice. Then, from across the street, a poor single father carrying grocery bags and holding his little son's hand quietly stepped forward. He had nothing except worn-out clothes, tired eyes, and a heart that refused to ignore someone in trouble. That single decision would transform not only his future, but the future of the lonely woman he never imagined was one of the most powerful CEOs in the country. Before we continue, if you believe kindness, courage, and second chances can change lives, please take a moment to like this video, share it with your friends, leave a comment telling us where you're watching from, and subscribe to Single Dad Empire. Your support helps us bring more emotional stories that remind the world compassion still exists. The woman was named Celeste Rowan, a 38-year-old business leader whose billion-dollar technology company had become one of the fastest-growing firms in the country. Newspapers admired her achievements, investors praised her intelligence, and competitors feared her determination. Yet behind the elegant suits, expensive cars, and magazine covers was a woman exhausted by years of people wanting something from her. Wealth attracted admiration, but it also attracted greed. Every relationship she had attempted eventually turned into requests for expensive gifts, business opportunities, investments, or influence. She no longer believed genuine affection existed. After years of disappointment, she convinced herself that staying alone was safer than risking another broken heart. The man confronting her that afternoon was another wealthy entrepreneur who had spent months chasing her attention. Rejection only fueled his arrogance. Believing his money made him irresistible, he publicly demanded that she give him another chance. When she calmly tried to leave, his voice became louder, drawing uncomfortable stares from everyone nearby. People whispered, but nobody wanted to interfere with a powerful businessman. Across the sidewalk walked a man named Owen Mercer. Life had never been generous to him. 3 years earlier, his wife had passed away after a sudden illness, leaving him alone to raise their 5-year-old son, Noah. Medical bills had consumed every dollar they owned. Their comfortable home had been sold. Owen worked temporary construction jobs whenever work was available, cleaned warehouses during weekends, and sometimes skipped meals so Noah could have enough to eat. Every morning he reminded himself that no amount of hardship would ever become an excuse for losing his kindness. That afternoon, Owen had just finished buying discounted groceries with the last cash in his wallet. He noticed the frightened expression on the elegant woman's face. He did not recognize her. To him, she looked like any other person needing help. Without calculating the risks, he gently guided Noah behind him and calmly stepped between the woman and the aggressive stranger. His voice remained respectful, but his eyes showed quiet determination. The wealthy man laughed at the sight of Owen's worn shoes and faded shirt, assuming poverty meant weakness. Instead of backing away, Owen stood firmly, protecting someone he had never met. The confrontation ended only when security finally gathered enough courage to intervene. Furious and embarrassed, the arrogant businessman stormed away while promising revenge. Celeste looked at Owen with disbelief. For the first time in years, someone had defended her without asking who she was or what she could offer. Before she could properly thank him, Owen simply nodded, picked up his grocery bags, smiled at Noah, and quietly continued walking home. That evening, the image of the exhausted father refused to leave Celeste's mind. She ordered her assistant to identify him, not because she wished to reward him, but because she wanted to understand why someone carrying so many burdens would still stop to protect a stranger. The investigation revealed a heartbreaking story of loss, sacrifice, and unwavering honesty. It also revealed that Owen had once been a talented mechanical designer before family tragedy forced him into whatever work could pay the bills. Curious, Celeste arranged for him to attend an interview at her company. Owen almost ignored the invitation, believing it had been sent by mistake. When he arrived wearing his only suit, carefully repaired by hand after years of use, he felt completely out of place among polished executives and expensive offices. Many employees secretly judged him before learning anything about his character. Some whispered that he clearly did not belong in such a prestigious company. Instead of asking complicated business questions, Celeste spent the interview learning about his life. She discovered a father who woke before sunrise every day to prepare breakfast for his son, walked miles to save transportation money, volunteered at Noah's school whenever possible, and refused financial charity because he believed dignity mattered as much as survival. His honesty impressed her more than any polished resume ever could. She offered Owen an entry-level position in the company's engineering support department. The salary was modest by corporate standards but life-changing for him. He accepted with grateful tears, promising only one thing, that he would earn every opportunity through hard work. The first months were not easy. Several co-workers mocked his simple clothes, outdated phone, and quiet personality. They assumed he had received special treatment because of the CEO. Rumors spread quickly through the office, suggesting there was a secret relationship between them. Owen ignored every insult. He focused entirely on learning, improving, and providing a better future for Noah. Every evening he returned home exhausted but hopeful, helping his son with homework before falling asleep at the kitchen table. Celeste watched his progress from a distance. She noticed something unusual. Owen never tried to impress her, never asked for favors, never used her name for personal gain, and never behaved differently when she entered a room. He treated the CEO with exactly the same respect he showed the janitors, receptionists, and cafeteria workers. It reminded her of a world she had almost forgotten, a world where character mattered more than status. Months passed, and the company faced a serious manufacturing crisis that threatened millions of dollars in losses. Engineers worked around the clock searching for answers. During a late-night meeting, Owen quietly presented an idea based on experience from his previous career. His practical solution solved a problem that highly paid consultants had failed to fix. Senior executives were stunned. Celeste saw not only intelligence but remarkable humility. Owen accepted praise with the same quiet smile he wore every day. Outside work, Noah slowly became part of Celeste's life. The cheerful little boy greeted everyone with kindness and often drew colorful pictures while waiting for his father to finish work. One afternoon he handed Celeste a crayon drawing showing 3 people holding hands beneath a bright sun. His innocent artwork carried more warmth than every expensive gift she had ever received. It reminded her that love could exist without conditions. As trust grew between them, Celeste finally admitted how lonely success had become. Wealth had surrounded her with attention but isolated her from genuine connection. Owen never tried to solve her pain with grand promises. Instead, he simply listened. Sometimes the greatest kindness is offering someone a safe place to be honest. Eventually, the same arrogant businessman who had embarrassed Celeste months earlier attempted to damage her company's reputation through false accusations and media manipulation. Investors panicked, headlines spread quickly, and employees feared massive layoffs. Owen stood beside Celeste during the darkest days, encouraging frightened staff members and reminding everyone that integrity would outlast lies. His calm leadership inspired the workforce to remain united. Independent investigations eventually exposed the truth. Celeste's company was cleared of every accusation, while the dishonest businessmen faced public disgrace. The crisis strengthened the company instead of destroying it. Employees realized that genuine leadership was measured not only by intelligence but by compassion and resilience. Standing together on the company rooftop one peaceful afternoon, Celeste looked across the city where they had first met. She realized the richest gift she had ever received had come from a man who possessed almost nothing except courage, humility, and unconditional love for his son. Owen, meanwhile, finally believed that life could still surprise those who refused to let bitterness define them. Their relationship developed slowly, built not on wealth or appearances but on trust earned through ordinary acts of kindness. Noah finally experienced the warmth of a complete family again, while Celeste discovered that the one man who never chased her heart was the only one worthy of protecting it. If this story touched your heart and reminded you that true love begins with kindness rather than wealth, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, subscribe to Single Dad Empire, and leave a heartfelt comment. Your support encourages us to continue bringing stories that inspire millions around the world. Special request: before this story ends, please comment below with one word that represents kindness in your life. We would love to read every response. As the golden afternoon sun slowly disappeared behind the skyline, Owen, Celeste, and little Noah walked forward together, not as a billionaire and a poor father, but as three hearts healed by compassion. Their story became proof that destiny often hides behind ordinary moments, and that sometimes the person who has the least to offer the world materially is the one who has the most love to give. In the end, the strongest foundation for any future is never money, power, or fame. It is the quiet courage to stand beside a stranger when everyone else chooses to walk away.